Did you know one US president had his own daughter committed to a mental institution for the most shocking reason? Or that another first lady held seances in the White House to contact her dead sons? We think we know the people living in the White House, but behind the grand facade of presidential life lie secrets so dark they've been buried for decades. These aren't just political scandals. They're deeply personal, human stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and controversy that have haunted America's first families. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal 7 of the most shocking secrets of US presidential families. What you're about to hear will change the way you see these historical figures forever. Stick with us because the last secret is so unbelievable. It sounds like something straight out of a movie. Let's start with number 7. Abraham Lincoln's ghostly encounters. While Lincoln is revered for guiding the nation through its darkest hour, his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, was navigating her own profound grief. After the tragic death of their 11-year-old son, Willie, a devastated Mary Todd turned to spiritualism. She began holding seances right inside the White House, desperately trying to contact not only Willie, but also her other son, Eddie, who had died years earlier. It's reported that President Lincoln himself even attended at least one of these sessions. Imagine the President of the United States, in the midst of the Civil War, sitting in a darkened room, trying to speak with the dead. It's a poignant and unsettling image that reveals the immense personal suffering hidden behind the stoic presidential portraits. Coming in at number 6 is the secret life of Grover Cleveland's daughter. President Cleveland had a daughter named Ruth, who was an absolute media darling in the late 1800s. They called her Baby Ruth, and she was adored by the nation. Tragically, she died of diphtheria at just 12 years old. Here's where it gets interesting. Years later, the Curtis Candy Company introduced a candy bar called the Baby Ruth. The company always claimed it was named after Grover Cleveland's daughter, not the famous baseball player Babe Ruth, who was just rising to fame at the time. Many historians believe this was a clever marketing ploy to avoid paying royalties to the baseball star. So, every time you eat a Baby Ruth bar, you might be biting into a piece of presidential history and a century-old marketing secret. At number 5, we have the hidden addiction of a First Lady. Betty Ford is now celebrated for her openness and for founding the Betty Ford Center for Addiction. But her journey to get there was a deeply private struggle that took place within the walls of the White House. While her husband, Gerald Ford, was president, Betty was secretly dependent on alcohol and opioid painkillers prescribed for her arthritis and a pinched nerve. She later described herself as being in a fog, often unable to fully recall conversations or events. Her family eventually staged an intervention just a year after leaving the White House. Her courage to publicly admit her struggles shattered a massive taboo and showed the world that addiction can affect anyone, even the First Lady of the United States. Now, for number 4. The lost daughter of Thomas Jefferson. We all know Thomas Jefferson as a founding father and the author of the Declaration of Independence, but many people don't know about his relationship with Sally Hemings, an enslaved woman on his plantation. Historical and DNA evidence strongly suggests that Jefferson fathered at least 6 children with Hemings. One of these children, a daughter named Harriet Hemings, was a Yahoo to escape from Monticello when she turned 21. Jefferson even gave her $50 for her journey. She moved to Washington, D.C., changed her last name, and passed into white society, marrying a white man. Her descendants lived 4 generations as a white family, completely unaware of their connection to Thomas Jefferson and their African-American heritage, and to modern historians and genealogists uncovered the truth. Halfway through, at number 3, is the Kennedy curse and a hidden lobotomy. The Kennedy family has been plagued by so much tragedy that it's often referred to as a curse. But one of its most heartbreaking stories is that of Rosemary Kennedy, the sister of President John F. Kennedy. Rosemary had developmental disabilities, and as she grew older, her mood swings became a source of embarrassment for her politically ambitious father, Joseph Kennedy. Fearing she would jeopardize his son's careers, he secretly arranged for Rosemary to have a prefrontal lobotomy at the age of 23. The procedure was a disaster. It left her with the mental capacity of a toddler, unable to walk or speak clearly. The family then hid her away in an institution for the rest of her life, and for decades, her existence was a closely guarded secret. It's a chilling example of how the pursuit of power can lead to unthinkable cruelty. Our second most shocking secret involves Warren G. Harding's love child. President Harding's administration was riddled with scandals, but his biggest secret was a personal one. A long-running affair with a woman named Nan Britton, who was 30 years younger than him. The affair resulted in a daughter, Elizabeth Ann, who was born just before Harding became president. Harding financially supported them in secret, arranging for his mistress and daughter to be smuggled into the White House for visits, sometimes hiding them in a closet when his wife was nearby. After Harding's sudden death in office, Nan Britton wrote a tell-all book, The President's Daughter, to support herself and her child. For nearly a century, the Harding family denied her claims. It was until 2015 that DNA testing finally proved it. Elizabeth Ann was indeed the daughter of President Warren G. Harding. And now, for the #1 darkest secret of a US presidential family. Remember the shocking story I mentioned at the beginning? It's about President Franklin D. Roosevelt and his wife, Eleanor. Their marriage was famously complex, especially after Eleanor discovered Franklin's affair with her social secretary, Lucy Mercer. But the darkest secret belongs to their only daughter, Anna Roosevelt. During World War II, President Roosevelt, whose health was failing, asked Anna to help him arrange secret meetings with his old flame, Lucy Mercer, who was by then a widow. Anna agreed. She not only facilitated the affair but was even present at Roosevelt's side, along with Lucy, when he died in Warm Springs, Georgia. Eleanor had no idea Lucy was there, and only found out later. A devastating betrayal, not just from her husband, but from her own daughter. It was a secret Anna carried with her for the rest of her life. A heavy burden that reveals the unbelievably complicated and often painful private lives of those we place on a public pedestal. From secret seances to hidden children and devastating betrayals, the lives of America's first families are far more complex than the history books tell us. These stories remind us that behind the titles and the power, they were just human beings, grappling with love, loss, and their own dark secrets. Which of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden corners of history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another revelation.